Hi, everybody. Welcome back to the Game Sense Football Podcast and part 2 of our discussion about Mo Salah. If you haven't listened to part 1, I encourage you to look for that and see if you agree with our views. And if you agree or disagree or just want to say hello, drop us a message at our email at gamesensefootball@gmail.com and also follow us on Instagram at gamesensefootball. We always love to hear from you. So earlier in part 1, we looked at how Salah compares to Eric Cantona, to Thierry Henry, and to Gareth Bale. Today, however, we will see how Salah stacks up against former Spurs captain Harry Kane, Chelsea icon Eden Hazard, but first, Sergio Kun Aguero.
Sergio Aguero.
Aguero?
I hate that.
Yeah. So different from the players we've spoken about so far in that Sergio Aguero was 100% pure goal scoring striker.
Yeah.
Possibly the best goal scoring player to have ever played in the Premier League.
Alan Shearer will have something to say about that.
Yes. So Aguero, second best goals and assists ratio, excluding penalties in EPL history.
Second most.
Second,
Who's top? Who's top?
Henry. For
Henry.
goals and assists. Okay.
Henry, wow.
If you look at only goals, Aguero is top, not counting Haaland. Because so stats, looking at it over more than like 4 years,
Okay.
Aguero is head and shoulders the best minutes per goals player in the Premier League.
Goals per minutes.
Yeah.
Minutes per goals. Goals per minutes. Yeah.
If he suddenly came back, Sergio Aguero, and played 28 more games without scoring, 28 full games without scoring, he would still be top.
He would still be top.
He would still be top. Looking at only goals, okay, and not looking at Haaland.
Incredible.
Yeah, and the thing about Sergio Aguero is when City signed Aguero, I was quite troubled because like Aguero is another player who I loved in FM. When he was at City, like you said, he would, if there was anybody in the world you would want the ball to fall to in or close to the box, it was Sergio Aguero. And just left foot, right foot, his close control, his precision and shot power. He could score headers, and he wasn't tall, but he's still good in the air. He wasn't so good at build up and link up, and that counted against him in his last couple of years when Guardiola appeared. But even then, like if you remember, Guardiola dropped Aguero, who was like best striker in the league, right? He dropped Aguero for a while, but Aguero just head down, kept on, just would score whenever he came on, and in the end, Guardiola had to play him, right?
Yeah.
In a sense, that's one thing that Aguero has proven that Salah has not. Aguero has played under so many different managers in the Premier League for City. All the managers from Mancini to Guardiola have used Aguero.
Yep.
Salah's entire Liverpool career played under Klopp and now under Arne Slot, who was hired because he is like Klopp.
Yeah, it waits to be seen how he will perform under Slot.
Yes.
I mean, so far, it's been a good start.
Yeah, I expect him to do well, but what I'm saying is that Aguero has been able to consistently deliver under different managers and different styles. Again, I'm not saying Mancini, Pellegrini, Guardiola and all were vastly different, but they played very different kinds of football, and still Aguero scored.
True that. Aguero, one of those guys I would love to always get on Football Manager as well.
Aguero, he won the Premier League 5 times.
5 times.
5 times.
More than Salah.
Compared to Salah's 1. He had 1 FA Cup as well and 6 League Cups. Salah has 1 of each. But Salah did win the Champions League with Liverpool when Aguero did not with City. So, yeah. One other thing also, Aguero, 7-time Premier League Player of the Month.
7 times. How many times did Salah win that?
5.
Still not too bad. But
still not bad at all. But Aguero 7 times.
But I think one thing that's very similar between Aguero and Salah is that they had amazing teams.
Yes.
Yeah. So, in terms of what we spoke about earlier about being the guy who would kind of elevate your team and to drag them to victory. I think Aguero did that through his goals. As is Salah, who's
Yeah.
doing it right now, right? He's doing it through his goals as well. But as a figure, as an influential figure within the team itself, probably not so strong. I would say
Mm,
Aguero.
yeah, yeah. I agree with you there, but I would argue that City without Aguero wouldn't have won half of the titles that they did. But Liverpool without Salah may have still won the one title that they win.
Well, I know that City would definitely have not won that one title if Aguero wasn't there.
Exactly. So like I said earlier, no one in the world you would trust more with that chance that won City their first Premier League title, which led to their extended period of dominance now. And you could even say that if not for Aguero, Salah would have won more titles.
Perhaps, perhaps.
In that case, if that's what you believe, I'm not saying that's the truth, but if that's what you believe, then you would have to put Aguero ahead of Salah if he has directly changed the fate of Salah, you know? Yeah.
That's a bit tenuous. Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't go that far, to be honest, but it's a bit difficult to definitively put Aguero over Salah or Salah over Aguero for that matter. Both played in amazing teams,
Mm,
Man City teams. The Man City team was already amazing when Aguero was there.
yes.
And of course we know that the Liverpool team is great as well, with Salah there as well. So, mm, tough call.
Me personally, I think Salah is the better player than Sergio Aguero, but Aguero made the bigger impact.
Mm, better player in terms of his skill sets. Is that
Skill
what you're
set. I
saying?
mean, again, there's not complete overlap, but
Mm-hmm.
there are goals, there are things that Salah can do that Aguero cannot.
Mm,
But in terms of pure impact, even taking into account, like you said, City already had a good team and all, Liverpool had a good team. Aguero, he's directly the architect of one of the most, if not the most iconic moment in recent Premier League history, and 5 Premier League medals. You could argue that without that one goal from Aguero, City would not be where they are today.
I mean, I would agree with you, but that's basically putting Aguero above Salah based on one moment, right?
Yes, but it is a moment that crystallizes his ability and impact. If Balotelli had scored and not Aguero in that moment, Balotelli was the one who plays the ball to Aguero, right?
Mm,
But if Balotelli was the one who beats the defender and scores, I don't think you'd be talking about Balotelli in this way. Because Aguero then goes on to continue to score, 5-time Premier League winner, 7-time Player of the Month, like I said, twice
mm,
voted
mm.
City Player of the Year.
It's difficult to definitively say what's one better than the other.
Sure,
I
of
mean, your
course.
example would have been better. Let's say, if what if you had replaced Aguero with a Salah in that situation? But of course, you spoke about Balotelli. Balotelli is like, we have a preconceived notion of what Balotelli is already.
Mm,
But if you have Salah in that position as opposed to Aguero, you
mhm.
know, would he have achieved greatness as well? Maybe.
Maybe, maybe. But
Yeah.
as it stands, it was Aguero, and you could then argue Salah has not been able to put himself and his team into that position.
True. I mean, that's a unique situation,
Yes,
right? That's a unique
for sure,
situation. Yeah.
definitely. But it's a unique situation. But I also think you make your own luck. In terms of Man City, sometimes there are also 115 other financial reasons you make your luck. But that aside,
Mm.
it's not to take anything away from Mo Salah, who is one of the best players we've ever seen. But I would just say that in terms of sheer impact, Aguero has made more. Who I would prefer to have in a team is a totally different question.
I think if we go with Aguero being the better one in that situation, I think it's very very close.
It's very close, for sure. It's
It's
all
like
close here. And like
yeah,
we
like
said earlier,
splitting hairs.
yeah, like we said earlier, it's the difficult questions which matter. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, look, I can't apply any logic to this. So let's. I'm fine going with Aguero being better. That's fine with me as well. But
The,
do you think
the,
Aguero had a bigger influence than Thierry Henry or Cantona
yeah.
in the team?
So again, I'm not saying Aguero is better. I'm saying he had a bigger impact. If anything, I'm saying Salah is the better player.
I agree. I agree. You were saying that Salah has a better range of skills and
It's impossible, like we've already seen, it's impossible to truly fairly compare all of these. But so we can
mm,
only, it's all objective, and this is
well, it's all
yeah
subjective.
subjective, yes, objective, yeah. Aguero also, as we found out in our last episode, son-in-law of Diego Maradona, and Salah, I think, is not the
Yes,
son-in-law of Diego Maradona.
he is the son of his mummy.
Yes.
Get it? Egypt, mummy, get it?
Okay, okay. Let's move on. Our next player to compare against Mo Salah. This might be the easiest one, but it's Eden Hazard.
Easiest meaning most similar.
In a way, more similar, but also maybe the most straightforward, because I think most people would say Salah is way better than Eden Hazard. In terms of numbers, I think it's hard to say that Hazard is better, aside from the fact Eden Hazard won more Premier League titles than Mo Salah. He's had two Premier League titles.
Always coming down to how many more Premier League
I mean, it has
titles.
has 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 to be said.
I mean, there has to be something, right,
Yeah.
to differentiate them. Yes.
Interestingly, Mo Salah has been in the EPL Team of the Year only 3 times in his entire career, whereas Hazard has been it 4 times.
Oh,
But Aguero only twice. So take that as you as you will.
Hazard has more appearances for Chelsea than Salah.
More appearances for Chelsea?
Yes, Hazard has more
Really?
appearances for Chelsea than Salah for
Oh,
Chelsea.
for Chelsea. For Chelsea. Wow. I was like, what? Yeah, okay. So I saw a quote online. I wish I could attribute it to my own wisdom, but I can't. But someone said, if you love stats, Salah is better. If you love football, Hazard is better.
Well, there's like lies, damn lies, and there's statistics, right?
Yeah.
So,
So again, we are being very conscious here not to just rely on pure numbers, because if you do that, then basically it's just Salah against Haaland. But Hazard didn't score nearly as much as Salah, doesn't have as many assists either. But Eden Hazard is just one of those players where he's just fun to watch. It's a quality not a lot of players have. Plus, he's very good.
yep,
You know, like
yep,
he's
yep.
like Ronaldinho in that aspect. He was just so fun to watch, but also effective for his team. Even if he didn't get a shitload of goals, his ability made his team better. So it was a different sort of way of elevating his team.
To be honest, you mentioned that they're a bit similar, but actually the way they play is they're wingers, I
Mm,
guess. And but the problem here is that I think Salah is more of a direct attacker from a
mm,
wide position,
yes,
whereas Hazard is more of a wide playmaker kind of
for
thing.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, so
So mm,
he doesn't really try to score as often as what Salah does. Salah bursts
yes,
forward, try to get into a scoring position, shoots, scores.
yes,
Hazard, he gets the ball, he dribbles, he opens up teammates, he draws defenders towards him,
mm,
so that other teammates have a chance to
yes,
get the ball into the box, get into a better position. So I think fundamentally their stats are different because they are very different in terms of their play styles.
yes, and you are 100% correct. But they're similar in the sense they are both the main threat from the right wing. What the threat is different. So that's why, me personally, I wanted to look at both of them, even though in this one instance at least the stats
Mm,
are wildly different. So if you're looking at pure numbers, it's no contest. And that's not to say that the stats are useless, because obviously, end of the day, goals matter, and you cannot look past the shitload of goals which Salah has scored. Even though we've already said on this episode that maybe somebody else would have scored them as well. Some of the goals Salah has scored, 100% nobody else would have scored. But some of the things
yep.
that Eden Hazard used to do for Chelsea, nobody else in the world would have been able to do. His team wouldn't have been able to do as well as they did without his creativity, his flair.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, the way Hazard moves around when dribbling,
Yeah.
his posture, his low center of gravity, he's like that half stoop position with his
Yeah.
butt sticking up, yeah, and that drop of the shoulder. I think it's fun to watch. Like you said,
Yeah.
it's like a video game.
Yeah. And can I also just say, probably one of the coolest names to have ever been in football, Eden Hazard.
Yeah, yeah,
It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it's a Star Wars name, right?
Kind of. Yes, like some fantasy story
Yeah.
basically.
If you see that name in Star Wars, you would think it's too outlandish.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
Another player like Gareth Bale who went to Real and didn't really light it up there, to put it lightly.
Well, Gareth Bale lit it up a lot more.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
I mean, Hazard was like anonymous completely.
Yes. So I would say in this instance of all the players we're discussing, it's easy to accept that Salah is the better player and had the bigger impact and is more important to Liverpool than Hazard was to Chelsea. But I just wanted to just have Hazard in this discussion because he's different. So important and incisive and critical in different ways. He is one of my favorite players ever. Eden Hazard in his
Mm.
prime at Lille and Chelsea was different.
And like you said, more team of the season
Mm,
inclusions compared to Salah.
yeah,
Um,
which I think says quite a lot actually.
yeah, but actually, if you talk about being influential in the team, I would say not really, right, for Hazard. I mean, there were much bigger personalities and
Mm,
leaders, as part of the Chelsea team during his time there.
yeah,
You know me, I would say Drogba was a very, very big, much bigger influence.
you're definitely right. It's just like I said, Hazard it's the easy comparison because they both were on the wing and but different
Yep,
sort
yep.
of dangerous, different kind of danger. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's good to.
Different
I mean, it,
hazards.
different hazards. Yeah, they represent the different hazards.
So from somebody who maybe only indirectly contributed to goals, we go to somebody who is maybe the epitome of goals and assists, Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
We can't have how important is a player in the Premier League discussion without Harry Kane. Even though of all the players we're discussing today, Kane is another one who didn't win it. Well, he's
Didn't
not won the
win.
league anyway. But
Hey,
anyway,
he won the Audi Cup.
he won the
Okay,
Audi
all
Cup.
right.
Okay. So earlier I said Sergio Aguero joint most player of the month wins.
Mhm.
It's 7 alongside Harry Kane.
Harry Kane.
Harry Kane also 6-time team of the year, which is top as well.
Harry Kane.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
Harry Kane's been really impressive ever since he made his debut for
Spurs.
Spurs.
Yeah.
For Spurs. When he first came on, English media, being English media, were very skeptical. Oh,
Mm,
it's like one season wonder kind of guy.
yes.
And then it became a 2-season wonder, and then it became a 3-season wonder, and I guess they stopped saying it.
Yeah. So Harry Kane, shitload of goals in the Premier League, obviously for Spurs. He got to 150 goals quicker than Salah. Earlier we
Mm.
mentioned Henry was quicker than Salah. Kane was quicker than Henry. One game behind Aguero, by the way. So top
Wow.
five: Shearer, Aguero, Kane, Henry, Salah. In
Shearer,
that order. Yeah.
Aguero, Kane, Henry, Salah. Okay.
Also, since the start of 2017-18, top scorers in top five leagues in Europe: Lewandowski, Mbappe, Kane, Salah. Kane more than Salah.
I'm not surprised. I
Yeah.
mean, Kane does score
Yes.
a
And
shitload of goals.
one thing I did see, I only found out today. Kane scored 15 goals for Spurs in North London derbies before the age of 23. And you would say, okay, this is just Arsenal, but like it's just like the big game mentality, right? The pressure
But
yeah.
still, yeah.
For Spurs, who I guess disappointingly for Kane doesn't challenge regularly for silverware, this is their biggest game of the season. And before the age of 23, he scores 15 goals already in this one fixture against your
It's
biggest
pretty
rivals.
pretty incredible. It's pretty
Yeah,
incredible.
like he's like a clutch player, right?
He is.
Captain for Spurs, for England as well. Like leadership, and he also like over the weekend, Cole Palmer had a hat trick of
Mm-hmm.
assists for Noni Madueke. Harry
Yep.
Kane did that for Son years ago.
Years ago.
Yeah. So there have been players before with hat tricks of assists for sure, but Kane was the way he played, his playmaking and his goal scoring was so important to Spurs and to England as well. Even though we're only looking at Spurs now, you probably couldn't say the same about Salah. He does create as well, but not to the extent of a Harry Kane. So, like to me, Harry Kane is goal threat, creativity, pressing as well, and leadership as captain.
Yeah, I think Harry Kane is pretty much the whole package, right? Just unfortunately, he's been in teams that can't win.
Yeah.
You'd think he would win with Bayern, but no. I mean, this is about Spurs, and to be honest, he helped bring Spurs to the Champions League final, and that's like way deeper than anyone could have
Mm.
imagined Spurs would have gone. Right?
Yes.
Maybe a little bit of it is partly down to Pochettino, I guess,
Mm.
but most certainly, Pochettino wouldn't have been able to do it without Harry Kane in the team.
Yeah. He got Spurs not single-handedly because like was it Lucas Moura who scored a hat-trick in the semi-final that
Yep.
year against Eric Ten Hag's
He's
Ajax?
got. I remember he's got the late goal.
Yeah. Harry Kane pulled Spurs to the final against Liverpool. Spurs would only lose that final by 1 goal. If Spurs
Mhm.
had won that game, then Kane would have had the Champions League final win and 0 Premier League wins, whereas Salah would have
Yeah.
1 Premier League win and 0 Champions League wins. So very like sliding door sort of thing.
Sliding doors moment.
Yeah, and
Not quite sliding doors, as like a
not so
slowly
much.
closing door.
Yeah. Earlier we said that Sergio Aguero would be in the conversation for top 3, top 4 forwards for a Premier League team of like the all-time best team.
Yep.
Harry Kane would also be in that discussion for sure. And comparing him to Salah in this instance a bit difficult because they are both for one very different positions.
Mhm.
But they're both the team's supposed main goal threat. But
Yep.
to me, Spurs, less so Bayern now, but we're looking at Spurs, right? It's Premier League, the English team. So Spurs rely on Kane more than Liverpool rely on Salah. Most times at least. There are times
That's
definitely
for
Liverpool
sure.
just like give the ball to Salah, hope he does something. And some of the goals Salah has scored, like the solo against City, against Watford, that insane long shot against Chelsea and all, that's a goal out of nothing. Whereas Kane maybe doesn't do wonder strikes like that, even though he has scored amazing goals. He scored from the halfway before he scores free kicks and all. But to me, Kane for Spurs is more important than Salah for Liverpool.
That's for sure. Would you say that Kane for Spurs is more important than Aguero for City?
Yes.
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 I think I can agree on that as well. I mean, look, Spurs just don't have a great team.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, right? But to be where they are,
Mm.
to have, been like termed the best of the rest, or even getting into the Champions League spots for those few times,
Mm.
it's really down to having someone like Harry Kane in the team to help pull them through.
Yeah. Earlier we said that Cantona and Henry can score any kind of goal. Kane is the same. And he can
Mm,
also create any kind of goal. That's the difference as well.
yep, agreed.
Like as much as Henry and Cantona were also very good with their vision and creativity and passing, they didn't have that long diagonal through ball that Kane is so good at, which for Son or for any other winger.
Yeah, I think Kane, he tends to be not seen as being as good as he should be, I guess.
Mm.
Maybe because his English. I don't know. The English media sometimes have this fixation with
He has a boring name.
yeah, that too.
He has a boring name and
He's got a bland personality. When he
yeah.
speaks, you don't know what he's saying.
Compare him to everybody else we've spoken about so far, right? Cantona, Henry, Eden Hazard, even Gareth Bale, more interesting than Harry Kane.
I mean, Harry Kane has probably the least charisma of all
Yeah.
of them, but he is a leader. I mean, he shows his qualities on the pitch, and I think
Yes.
that's where it speaks the most anyway. In terms of ranking them right here.
Yeah. You know, I I always forget that Kane is good at taking free kicks. then whenever he scores a free kick, I mean, every year he scores at least one free kick. And I'm always like, oh yeah, he takes a good free kick. And I always forget.
Free
Can Salah take
kicks.
free kicks?
I don't know.
I I'm sure he's not bad because he can take a
No,
good long shot.
we
But
know
like,
that he can't take penalties.
yeah, we know. Yeah. If anything, maybe there's one thing objectively, Kane is better at Salah than.
Free kicks, free kicks. Hey, I've got a fun fact on
Hmm.
free kicks.
Okay,
Want to
go
hear
on,
it?
go on.
Yeah. So there's this obscure rule that I saw recently.
Hmm.
A friend shared it on WhatsApp. So basically, when you have a free kick, a free kick from your own free kick, and you kick it towards your own goal, and it goes in, what results is actually a corner.
What? A corner?
Yes.
If
So
you
if you take a direct free kick
uh
into your own goal, so you kick it and it flies into your own goal, you get a corner from it.
the other team gets a corner, you mean?
Yeah. The other team gets a corner.
But so it's not an own goal. Wow.
Yeah.
Because you also can't score an own goal direct from a throw in.
I guess so. Yeah, you have to touch
Yeah. So if
somebody.
you like if you take a direct free kick or a throw in towards your own goal and the keeper doesn't touch it, like the keeper shouldn't touch it. If I'm not wrong, oh, this sort of reminds me. I think this actually happened in like the German second division last season, where somebody does do this and the keeper like dives out of the way, knowing about this rule.
Ah,
Yeah,
smart
it,
guy.
it, it was a throw in and not a free kick because you would be insane to take a direct free kick backwards. But
Back. Yeah, yeah.
oh,
Which is why
that's
it's so obscure because nobody actually does it.
yeah,
Unless
yeah,
what you want to do is to pass back to the keeper, but the keeper kind of like just messes it up completely and doesn't touch it.
yeah. I'm pretty sure neither Harry Kane or nor Salah has tried that.
No, I'm
Have
pretty
they
sure
have
not.
they ever scored an own goal? That's interesting. I know Gareth Bale has scored an own goal for Spurs for sure. I can't remember if the other two have. Comparing Kane to Salah, they're both vital to their Premier League teams. Well, Kane
Yes,
was vital. Also show a lot of consistency and longevity, right?
for sure.
To have done it over such a long period of time. Kane, by the way, better penalty taken than Salah.
Not difficult, I would
Yeah.
think. But yeah, I think I would rank Kane higher than Salah. Kane had the goals in him. He had the influence in his team as well.
Hmm. Kane, however, not anywhere
However,
near the best minutes per goal list compared to Salah.
interesting.
If you include goals and assists, the list goes like this: Henry, Aguero, Suarez, Salah, Solskjaer, Podolski, Van Persie, Drogba, Gabriel Jesus, Jurgen Klinsmann.
Jurgen Klinsmann. Wow, that one
Yep,
season that he played.
one good season, yes. So Kane is not
Wow.
anywhere close to this list, mainly because Kane never comes off and he play every game. Even when
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
injured, he plays for Spurs, right?
I mean, that's the thing about playing for a team that didn't have better players, I guess.
Yeah.
I think that's the last of our players
That's the last one that we chose to
to
look at.
cover. Yeah.
Obviously, people would say, why don't you compare him to Messi, to Ronaldo? Wayne Rooney was on our list, you know,
Yes.
Drogba was on our list. So
Yes.
it could go on and on and on and on and on and on. Rooney
But
would have been an interesting one as well. Shearer, obviously, because he tops so many lists. But
I think Bruno was on our list as well.
yeah, Bruno was on our list simply Bruno Fernandes
Fernandes.
simply because of his singular importance to the team. Even though I think even United players fans wouldn't say Bruno would be picked ahead of Salah.
Yeah. But in the interest of time,
Mm,
this is what we have. I mean, do let us know if you would want us to cover more of these player comparisons
mm.
in the
And
future.
just what do you think? Like, would you pick Salah ahead of Bruno Fernandes, ahead of Alan Shearer, ahead
Yeah,
of Jurgen Klinsmann?
yeah. But I think first, now let's talk about our list, our ranking
Oh, right.
from our
Yes.
list of players today.
Time for controversy.
Yes, so we have Salah, we
Hmm.
have Cantona, Henri, Bale, Aguero, Hazard, and Harry Kane.
Mm.
Number 1 to number 7.
So how are we doing this? Like, in terms of ability, in terms of impact, in terms of importance, in. in terms of
I think in the interest of making things simpler, just everything.
everything. So I would say
Yeah.
top of the list is Thierry Henry
Nice. Thierry
because
Henry.
of ability and impact and influence.
Yep.
He had everything, annoyingly, plus
Annoyingly.
longevity as well. Bale is bottom
Bill is
because
bottom.
he had the impact, but not the longevity, not the influence,
Yep.
and also didn't win anything.
Didn't win anything.
Yeah,
Not with Spurs at least.
yeah, no, I suppose the rest are all very close. Hazard is probably second bottom,
Mm-hmm.
and Cantona is second from top.
Okay. I mean, is this how you create your list? You go like top, then after first
No,
from the
no,
top, first from the bottom, second from
this
the
is
top,
just
second from the
me
bottom.
literally thinking aloud. So between Aguero, Salah, and Kane, that's a middle three. And I think I would have to say Henry, Cantona, Aguero, Salah, Kane, Hazard, Bale. That's my ranking.
Okay, fair enough. What I would say is I have the bottom two the same as yours.
Okay.
Yes, so I'll go from the top. I would put Cantona as number one. Yes, he didn't have the longevity of
Mm,
Henry or like the raw numbers to back him up. But I think the the team transformed tremendously after his
mm.
arrival, United
Yeah,
in the early 90s.
I agree.
And that was really the springboard that they needed for their dominance in the years to come. And there's a reason why people nowadays still sing his name, right?
Mm, mm.
About King Cantona. So
Yes.
for me, he's number one.
Okay.
Henri, without a doubt, number two.
Mm,
But I would totally understand on Henri being number one as well. You know, like
mm.
your on your list. I think Henri is a phenomenal player.
Yeah.
Definitely a close second for
Mm.
me, Henri. Number three, I would actually put Harry Kane.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, because I think Harry Kane is just very unlucky, and we love to laugh at it, right? We love to
Yeah.
dump on him on that, but because it's funny. But you know, in terms of ability and his importance to the teams that he plays for,
Mm.
especially for Spurs, right? Spurs, like we mentioned, not really a great team. He was really very obviously, you know, carrying the team at
Yeah.
a lot of the time.
Mm.
Him and Son. And next for me is Salah actually.
Okay.
I think Salah being you know, consistently in the team outweighs what Aguero did. I
Mm.
feel that if you take Aguero away from that Man City team, maybe you know they wouldn't have won in the last minute of that season
Mm-hmm.
when Aguero scored that very important goal. But Man City, I mean, look at them. Come on, they would have done something magical later on as well. That's my reasoning for that. But of course, with Aguero, they were so much better. Who am I leaving out? The last two, right? So
Yeah.
Hazard, then of course Bale.
Mm.
Nah, someone has to be bottom.
Yeah. No, no. We have different rankings, but I wouldn't disagree profusely with yours.
I think the reasons. I think the big thing is the reasons for why we are ranking them this
Yeah.
way. I think that's
Yeah.
important to consider.
Yeah. Conscious of being too long, but if we insert Wayne Rooney, where would he be in this list?
Whew.
Maybe that's a question for another time.
Maybe we can have an episode covering Wayne Rooney. All right, so we've come to the end of our episode.
Mm.
If you have any comments, do leave it down below. And also do follow us on Instagram at GameSense Football. And also you can email us at gamesensefootball@gmail.com. Links are all in the descriptions below. So till next time, guys. See y'all.
See you guys. I'm going to feed that kitten now.
Ow.